Chelsea and Hove Albion has struck again, ladies and gentlemen. Well, since 2022, when a consortium led by Todboli and Baghdad Elegbali, took over Chelsea after everything that happened with Abramovich having to sell the club because of what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. These people took over Chelsea, and since then, every single summer since 2022, a player, at least one player, or a staff has moved from Brighton to Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea has practically made Brighton their feeder team, not just on the field with players. They also go beyond the field into the dressing room with the managers, and they even go into the boardroom and the academy systems. Yes, I will explain those transfers to you. The first of them was Marco Correa moving in 2022 for reportedly around 62 million pounds from Brighton to Chelsea. That was the first deal between this new partnership. And then the next summer, Robert Sanchez followed in that footstep, moving for around 25 million pounds from Brighton to Chelsea. In the same 2023, they were not satisfied. They went and broke the then British record for a transfer fee of up to 150 million pounds for Moises Caicedo. That's including the add-ons. They were not satisfied. In September 2022, they had already signed Graham Potter. So they were not satisfied with players. They went in for the manager. Also spent a record fee for a manager's compensation. They spent 21 million pounds, reportedly 21 million pounds on signing Graham Potter. Of course, we know how the story went. He was fired not more than 2 seasons after. But we are talking about the transfers now. And recently, in the first team, we are hearing this summer now that Joao Pedro is on his way to Chelsea from Brighton for a reported fee of around 60 million pounds. That is on the field. Sounds like a lot. I'm not even done. Now, in the academies, in 2022, a lad called Zach Sturge moved, a talented left back, moved from the Brighton under 18s to Chelsea, 2022. Then Shumaira Muheka moved in 2022, the same summer, from Brighton's youth setup to Chelsea. They were not only taking Chelsea players from the senior team, they were also going to the academy system to pick the players who they think will stand a better future. So they're not only buying the big players for big prizes in the first team, they also want to go and pick the young ones early enough so that they will not have to pay big prizes, down the line. Well, and that was not all. That was not all. Chelsea also continued their raid on Brighton in the boardroom levels. I'll explain those ones. Well, in 2022 as well, December, Paul Winstanley, who was the head of recruitment for Brighton and Hove Albion, was signed by Chelsea to become their co-sporting director. And then in 2024, Sam Jewell, who replaced Paul Winstanley as the head of recruitment of Brighton, was also snapped up by Chelsea to become their head of global scouting network. So Chelsea are not only planning the now with Brighton players and staff and coaches, they are also planning the future, taking the potentials they also have in Brighton to bring them to Chelsea. So this got me thinking, why can't Paul Barber say no whenever Chelsea comes calling? And why do Chelsea always keep going back to Brighton even when it doesn't work, especially as it concerns the manager? They still go back to look for players from the same system. Why? Or are Chelsea using Brighton as their scouting team in the Premier League and we do not know it? Well, tell me what you think in the comment section. And don't forget, as always, this is the Top Corner.